Well, good afternoon, everybody. Or early evening, I guess, here at Citizens United. I'm your host, John Restaino. One thing I want to let everyone know before we start, if you do call in, and this just goes because I haven't said it yet, we're on episode 11. If you call in, remember that there's like about a 10 or 15 second delay from what you're watching. And just remember, wait till I say you're on the air. Because I might get to you, and you'll tell I picked up the phone. But just wait till I say you're on the air and then start talking. And, it's time to say hello to my co-host. Hey, Chris, how's it going?
Hey, John, I guess we're in the air. Nowadays we say in the cloud, right?
Yeah?
We're probably in the cloud here. But, hey, how about them Bills?
Yeah, how about them?
How about them Bears?
Well, that was an incredible comeback.
Nice.
Yeah, did you see that? Did you see any of the highlights?
I didn't catch up to that yet. But
you got to see it. It was terrible for 3.5 quarters, and then they had a 17-point comeback.
Nice.
So,
I know.
we'll
I think
see.
Robin was early looking for the backup quarterback, right?
Oh, yeah. And, we got our co-producer here, Robin, too.
Oh,
she's
beautiful.
busy right now, so
All
we'll
right.
talk to her later.
Well, I'm here as usual, and I'm
good.
ready to rock and roll, and we'd like to go ahead, John, introduce our guest tonight,
and I'm
special guest.
Yeah, and this is the best guest ever because they brought incredible prosciutto, olives. What else do we got?
Mozzarella. Right?
Beautiful. Unbelievable.
Wine. Grape juice, we'll say.
Best guest ever. And it's Lisa Dorato. Hey, Lisa.
How you doing, John and Chris? Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Oh, I'm glad you're here.
Absolutely.
Glad you're here. That's unbelievable, though, Chris, isn't it?
Yes.
Look at that.
This
I'm still looking.
smorgasbord before and after, and we got donuts too. So
we gotta eat, right?
No, it's beautiful. Unbelievable. All right, Lisa, so let's get to know you a little better. For people, I'm sure a lot of people do, but there's others out there that might not. Lisa, let's talk about, I know this from Facebook. You had a business, right?
I did.
And what was it?
It was a Merle Norman Cosmetic Studio and Hair Salon, which I owned and operated for 16 years.
And where that was in Military Road? No.
It was located on Military Road for the last 8 years. I was in a few locations. When I first bought the business, I was actually in North Tonawanda, still in Niagara County, on Payne Avenue. And then I relocated after 8 years from there into Niagara Falls. And I started on Porter Packard Road, over near the Jetport. And then that building was sold, and I moved over to next to the credit union on Military. And then 2 years after that, I moved down the street right across from the mall next to Judy's Lounge, and that's where I was for the last 5 years.
And, of course, 2020 came, and
COVID hit?
Yeah, and we've all of us have been hit, but you got hit a little extra hard.
I did.
What happened, Lisa?
Well, obviously, being in a business, you do have money set aside. But when I wanted to go back to reopen, when they gave the go-ahead, none of my renters wanted to come back. Two of them wanted to move completely right out of New York State. And the other two, they didn't want to spend the money on the PPE equipment, which I can't blame them. The mandates that they put on us were ridiculous, like as if I was going into an operating room doing open heart surgery.
Right. Yeah.
And they were probably tired of taxes, I'm sure, as well.
Yeah.
Well, Governor Cuomo really just...
he nailed it.
In all ways, I feel like he fumbled every way you could possibly fumble. From the biggest of all was they say 6,600 elderly passed away, but I think it's more like 13,000.
Yeah, he killed our grandparents.
Yeah, he put them all back in there, and not even an apology. I know that's not going to work, but nothing. He wrote a book to tell you how to lead in this time of COVID. I think that's what it's called, actually.
And then literally had the balls to go down to Georgia and tell them how to do it.
I know.
Teach them how to do it. It's like, okay, let me go down there and kill people.
Well,
and John, you had mentioned that there was a little bit of fuzziness with the deaths, right? It didn't count as a COVID, or it did count.
Well, no,
there was something twisted, yeah.
Well, I understand what it is. Someone explained it to me, but still ridiculous. It was at 6,600. But if you were in a nursing home and you got COVID there and that you died in the hospital, they didn't count it for your, as a death in the nursing home. So he was able to keep it at 6,600, where the AP, which isn't that great, the Associated Press anymore, but they tried to do an investigative report on it, and they got shut down by the governor. Now, the governor made his own report, so he investigated himself. And he said, everything's okay. So, I hear the Southern District of New York is supposed to be doing so. I hope they probably won't. That's probably just saying it to get them off the hook or something.
Yeah.
But I had hoped, guys, I had hoped that maybe the only silver lining would be he would just say, I'm not running again. Just because maybe have some shame. I don't know.
He's not going to have shame. He's looking to get that Secretary of State position.
Yeah.
That would be called accountability, right?
Well, that's gone out the window a long time ago with that party.
Well, then he would leave our governor. Anyway, well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to say it would be better if, and I know people are probably going to jump at me when I say this. I always thought he'd be better. I'd rather him be in Washington than be in Albany.
Ooh, I don't know about that one, John. He'd be scary being third in charge, especially if Biden actually did win. I would say he's not going to last about a week before they call him incompetent. Yeah. Then that puts him at second in command. And, that scares the hell out of me.
Yeah. I know. I've said it so many. I just thought it would be. You're probably right.
You brought in some heavy artillery tonight, John.
No, you're probably right. I just always wanted to get him out of Albany.
Yeah.
Because I thought of how we always get it from him.
Well, you know what? I feel it this way. We've taken the brunt of his narcissistic behavior. I would hate to have to put him on the wrath of the rest of the country.
Well, let me ask you something, Lisa and Chris. Wouldn't you say that, not many people in Niagara Falls, I'm not even going to say Western New York, Niagara Falls, no one has a good thing to say about the governor? Wouldn't you say probably 70%? I mean, most of us don't. Wouldn't you guess?
I would say more people are against him than with him at this point.
Agreed.
For sure.
Yeah.
I haven't had a conversation with anybody that actually agrees with him. Maybe one person.
Because you know what always gets me? And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it until I get thrown out, is I don't understand then why we would vote in this city for those that are connected to Albany the most. It always kills me. The guy who is mayor right now would have pictures of him and Kathy Hochul arm in arm. So he didn't hide it. So don't get me wrong. It wasn't like he was hiding it. He's Albany's guy, and we said yes to Albany's guy. So I don't know.
Well, because the cronies in this town are the only ones that ever show up to vote.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's the people that are uneducated and don't have a clue of what's happening, and they just pass the buck and say, oh, I don't need to go down to vote.
Or they go and vote.
My vote's not going to matter.
Yep.
Right.
They just go by name recognition. They've done no research. They've done no comparison between candidates. They don't know, Mayor Restaino from, Mayor Smith. Made that up,
Absolutely agree.
No, it's just, I mean, and the other thing is they do fix elections here. Don't think they don't. Because when you have when you can have a Democrat
cross endorsement, right?
But I thought you were going to say cross contamination.
It's kind of like that. But think about this,
especially in the chemicals,
it's like
right?
salmonella.
Yeah. I'm not even.
We're from Love Canal. Don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not even really going after the person right now because I don't even care. I don't even care. But we know the names, like Wojtaszek, for example. She is. When I was downstairs working at WJGL, I had her husband on the show, Henry, and he used to say that she is an Obama liberal. She went to Pennsylvania. She went to Ohio, went door to door. That's what he used to say. It was a big joke. Now the Republicans endorse her for, I don't get why. Why would that happen? You know what I mean? Why would they endorse her?
I have a great analogy for this. Okay, so let's see it this way. If the Democrats were on the field during the Buffalo Bills' first Super Bowl appearance, okay, we would have won. You know why? Because they moved the goalpost all over the place. Norwood would have had anywhere around the field to kick that into.
Right.
So
Go Bills.
That's the situation. It's they move the goalpost to their liking and their narrative.
Cross endorsements are killer, though. I mean, you can endorse, and then if you don't endorse, that says about as much as not as endorsing. You know what I mean? It just, and here there's only one way out, and that's just my opinion. And you guys could disagree with me. There's only one way out, and when you see a name that and especially a name that is connected to corruption, the only way I think, and the only thing they understand is a kind of a political slap, and it's a slap in their face when they lose, and you knock them out. And I don't care if it's their grandkids. I don't care if it's their great-grandkids. I don't care if it's their grandmother. I would not vote for that name ever again. That's just me. I don't care who they are. Oh, no.
Hey, John, want to give out the call-in number in case any of our fans, and then I'll give a social media shout-out.
Okay, well, there's a number. It's 716-804-1229. Don't forget, give me a second when I answer the call. Just wait till I say you're on the air. We're with Lisa Dorato, who's the best guest ever. And, all right, what do you got there on social media?
If we burp, it's because of the pre-game beverages. We're getting ready to squish the fish. Anyways, my football analogies. We got Jackie Williams, my sister-in-law from North or South Carolina. I always get them mixed up. Let's see who else we got here. Kevin Hutchison, always tuning in. Somebody cheering, a big heart for Lisa, Kathleen Stallman Marshall.
Nice.
You also got Keith, R.A. Lindsay, yes.
Oh, that's our guy. I like it. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy,
yes. He's a real good guy.
Welcome again, and thanks. He's a Trumper, so he says go Trump. Certainly, we welcome all opinions.
We're going to get him. He's going to come on. Well, I'm going to get him on the show soon.
Yeah,
you're going to like him, Chris. All right, go ahead.
And then one more, Jonathan David. Hi, sis. I would like to know why the city appropriates development funds to developers who never have their idea come to fruition, while listening to the aggregate funds available to young entrepreneurs with passion.
Well, we all know why. Yeah. Because they're getting a kickback on that money that they're hightailing out of town with.
Yeah, well, look at NFR is...
I mean, Hamister finally completed, one project out of how many?
Yes, I know.
Lisa, you might be interested in this topic. I didn't really know we were going to go here, but how about Niagara Falls redevelopment? I hear you have some passion for the city of Niagara Falls.
I grew up in the city. I grew up just a few blocks away from here, right over here on 12th Street. That's where my whole story started.
Beautiful.
And then on to Linwood Avenue and 22nd.
Okay.
Yes, very passionate about this city. I actually started getting into local politics back when I was in my early 20s, just because of the ridiculousness. Mm-hmm. I actually wrote a letter to the editor about the twist of the mist. They didn't want to let him.
Oh yes.
Okay. It was an
Mr.
empty,
Glasgow, right?
Yeah.
I forget his first name.
Yeah. It was an empty, rat-infested field on the other side of the Quality Inn, which I worked at the time. And they were giving him a hard time about permitting him. They said, oh, well, we don't want the first thing for people to see when we come over the bridge as an ice cream stand.
He had a hell of a time getting, even when he built it.
It was brutal.
There was a best thing down. They had the ice cream and the cherry lit up on top, and he would go by there on the weekend.
Look what he wound up doing with that.
And it was packed. It was packed with people.
Yep, and now look what he's done. He's actually expanded it. He put it in the hot dog and the food stand. It started out with just that small, trailered-in cone ice cream stand. And they were giving him a hard time. So it was just,
Wow.
Just a bureaucratic BS,
Well, NFR, which you just brought up, I think that came around during the Galley administration. And, well, someone's back in City Hall that was a part of the Galley administration. So, I don't know what to say anymore.
It was when Aqua Falls was going on.
Don't bring up Aqua Falls.
I
might drown in my wine.
Yeah, exactly. But do you have any feelings on Niagara Falls redevelopment? I know there hasn't been anything in the news probably in 15 years, but there's
feelings.
140 acres of prime development land that's just sitting vacant. Is the mayor reaching out or anything going on?
I don't think anybody's reaching anything deeper than what their pockets can be filled with.
I mean, you're not going to do anything without Albany letting you. I think also, nothing's happening unless you're told it can, because we don't have a mayor that has any. We've never had one.
We're the wicked stepchild
that has any kind of intestinal fortitude, I guess, to go up against Albany a little bit at least. I mean, I know we can't. What are you going to do? But still, I mean, instead of having some councilman or someone,
my colon hurts.
Yeah, right.
Colon hurts.
All right, let's move on from there. Now,
all right,
Lisa, were you ever anything but a Republican?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
I was a Democrat for pretty much since the time I was 18 years old and was able to vote. Up until about 2011,
right,
is when I started to see the Democratic Party being hijacked, and I don't even recognize the party at all anymore. Yeah. So I have jumped ship.
Republican, right?
I am a registered Republican now. Yes, I am.
Right.
But I do tend to vote. I vote with my gut instinct.
Right.
9 times out of 10. I deal in the facts. I delve into what the policies of this person's bringing to the table. Obviously, when somebody's new comes in, you don't know whether they're full of it or not until you see whether they, put their money where their mouth is.
Right.
And I would definitely say that Donald Trump has definitely put his money where his mouth is.
Yeah, well,
it's kind of refreshing to hear, and I know Lisa, Lisa had mentioned earlier how, she votes. I get the feeling she votes on principle, not necessarily on party, and more on
Character and integrity are most important
on the person. Yeah, and that's very refreshing to hear because, God, you would think that unless it's Democrat or Republican, it doesn't fall into any other category but those two, and those two parties are basically one, as we talk a lot about on the show. They're so intertwined with each other, and
that's why Donald Trump, to be honest with you, is such it drives liberals crazy, and I know why, because he is and I mean this why, because they want to support what he's about. They would like regularly anti-establishment, doesn't care about the Republican Party really, could care less about them, actually does things that sometimes. Actually, there's quite a few. There's actually 3 things I know of that he's done that are kind of Republicans used to not like, and he did it. Didn't really care, and they were forced to like it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying the liberals that aren't just. I'm not talking about the liberals that are, the crazy liberals. I'm talking about the normal people that would just consider themselves liberal. They would like him normally because he's anti-establishment. That would be something they would like.
Right.
Robin, when did we change? Did we change after the Democratic after this primary?
After this this past primary
was our last Democrat vote.
Yep, voted Bernie and
then that was it.
Went on our way.
Yeah, and we were an independent, no party. So I lost my train of thought. Oh, Lisa, was Trump your first pick in 2016?
Yes.
Was he?
Yes.
Oh, nice. See, because we had a Republican on. Yeah, we had a Republican on last time, Hugh. And the reason why I reached out to someone like you was because he ends up being a Trump voter, but his first pick was Huntsman. Yeah. Huntsman,
I did see Hugh's broadcast with you, and he did his homework,
right?
Which I did too.
Yeah.
And like I said, I went with my gut instinct. There was no reason for Donald Trump to run for the president of the United States of America.
Right.
He wanted to save this country.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah,
he cares about the people in the country.
There was no gain. No, there's no gain. No.
There's no gain. He's actually going to wind up leaving the office probably with less money than he came in with.
Here's the other thing that most liberals would like, and because I was a Democrat for a long time, and I go to independent, and I always say that because the Independence Party is a fraud. See, if you don't, I know so many people that think they're independent, but all of a sudden they're caught up in that fraud Independence Party. I'm an independent, no party. And I always kind of lean, if I'm going down the middle, I tend to go left a little, not a lot. I go left. And I look at donors a lot, and his donors, and this is a big plus to me, is his top donor is a guy who makes cardboard boxes. So that's good for manufacturing here.
Exactly.
The next guy is, I think, UFC.
Dana
White. I believe Vince McMahon from wrestling. And there is a couple, which you're not shocked, real estate people, because obviously he was in real estate.
Developer.
The guy that makes dream pillows.
Yeah,
My pillow.
Yeah.
I love him.
And then
that's awesome.
And then there is a guy. There's one, and I hate. My biggest thing is look at who takes money from pharmaceuticals or healthcare. Mm-hmm. He has a pharmaceutical one, but the only thing it does is make energy drinks.
Yeah.
The same ones that the UFC use. So I mean.
He did say Kodak was coming back, right? That new deal with they're going to be making some pills in Rochester,
right?
In the old Kodak building.
That would be so huge for Rochester.
Yeah, because it's going to be. We were just talking. Where did I had that the other? Remember we were talking about this, and I had the numbers. Oh, and I probably lost them now. But anyways, no, that's going to be a big deal, and I just know that, I think of Democrats and liberals, that makes you happy. Because the name of my show is our show is Citizens United. Now, it's funny. It's got a double meaning to me. Citizens United. I don't usually have politicians on here. And if I ever did, let me tell you this way. The guests are always, we try to treat them really good. They're our guests, just like they would be at your house. But if a politician came on here, I would want to challenge them a little more. So I don't even care if they come or not. But it's you would have to like the fact that he has nothing. He has no donor to own him.
No,
I mean that's a big.
Nobody can, and that's why they don't like it.
That's
why they don't like them.
Yeah, it's a big deal because you could have all these guys, both parties. If you put the stickers, I mean, they look like a NASCAR. If you put it on their jackets, I mean, it's
sponsorship.
That's what lets these pharmaceutical prices come down the way they are. I mean, if with Joe Biden in office, he's had so many pharmaceutical donors that there's no way in the world that he could lower pharmaceutical prices. Donald Trump isn't beholden to anyone as far as that goes, so he's beholden to the American people, which is what we should all want.
Amen to that, Robin.
Now here's where
and the thing is, he's so brash, and that's what turns a lot of people off from him. He's brash. But I've recently watched it was like a CNN special where they showed Biden from kind of where he started to where he is, kind of the progression, and they also showed one with Trump. And I tell you what, for a lot of things that he said he was going to do, he has done them. And he's certainly strengthened the military, which I agree on, a strong military.
Yeah.
And I for the life of me, cannot understand the whole border wall. Why would we not want to be protected like every other country is around the world?
Well, my biggest thing here is...
I mean, I'm for the wall. If you want to come here, come. But you got to follow the process.
Here's what I like.
Please come. But
here's what I like.
Go through the process. If it's merit, if it's... immigration, the freedom, the DREAM Act, whatever.
Right.
But go ahead, John.
No, it's okay. What I like is that he's ending wars. Yeah. That's great. Ending wars.
The first president that hasn't started one, and how many?
That's good. Now here's one thing I don't like. I think the military spending is wildly out of control right now.
Well,
but I think there's better ways you could probably maybe do something with that money.
Well, he's subsidizing that money with the tariffs that he put onto China.
Yeah,
We're finally getting paid.
I do
by
like
Iran
tariffs
and everybody else.
Yeah, tariffs are nice. I got to admit, tariffs and getting rid of and making NAFTA different was also outside. Because for us here in this Rust Belt,
NAFTA, NATO, didn't I say anymore?
Was a kill. But NAFTA killed us. I mean,
it
killed us and probably Cleveland. The masks, and because he claims he admitted to the lie.
Prior to me coming here today, the CDC came out again and just dropped this bombshell. I don't know if you guys caught this. This was literally around 5 o'clock today.
Probably missed that one.
You guys might have just missed it. Stated that the masks, he felt that the president of the CDC said that he believes that the masks are still better than even a vaccine.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, like I said, once again, here we go, moving the goalposts all over the place.
The rules change in the middle of the game.
It's constant. It's constant.
And from a business, self-employed, especially you, or your
you can't manage something around nonsense.
And then nobody has the money you got to buy this PPE and that PPE, and then the rules. The CDC says one thing, Fauci says another. And Trump says another. But here, can I ask a question regarding Trump, Lisa? How do you feel Trump is doing as far as the environment? Let's throw in climate change in there in general. And do you agree with his position? I guess
I do. I think that. I think these green deals and all of the other things that they're trying to force down our throats are just them making deals with other countries to get kickback in their own pockets. And instead of us being energy efficient here at home, they're allowing somebody else to do it. So if they think that the environment's not going to be affected just because it's happening over in the Middle East, or if it's happening over in China, that it's not going to be affecting the whole world, they're very sadly mistaken. So why not us profit on fracking and everything else and becoming energy efficient in our own backyard and creating jobs?
Yeah, well, it definitely appears he's done a good job with increasing our oil supplies here, and gas is around $2 or a little bit less. So.
I know we haven't seen it like that since about 1980.
It's been a few years. I
think it's been since Reagan was in office.
What's going on with what do you guys? California's burning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really just burning. I mean, but I don't know why it's not burning. I don't know.
Why
didn't it go across the border to California? But it's burning. I mean, it's just.
I believe that is the state's position of they should have been cleaning up that forest for many years prior to this. I think that they haven't gone in and done a good clean out. I was just asking a gentleman, I was up in the Adirondacks, and I asked him his opinion on that because I'm really not that familiar with the wilderness that much.
Right.
But I know that people do slow burns. But he had said that, I can't remember exactly what he had said that they should be doing. It was like a
deforestation, and they sort of thin out the trees, or they do controlled burns,
right?
And that is gonna go so far, but it seems like it's political between Trump and the California mayor. I can't recall his name right now.
The governor
Newsom. I mean, the whole West Coast is burning, and Trump seems to just want to put blame on him for not cutting the trees down. I mean, and he wants to argue. The other night he said something about, well, the weather's going to be getting cold soon, and I think he just dismisses climate change against scientific evidence that we currently have.
Right.
Well, he may. I mean, I don't think that's his. To be honest with you, that's probably really. For good or bad, or however you want to think of it, it's probably down on his list. Right. I don't think that's one of those things that he doesn't. I just don't think he takes it. He doesn't take it. I don't want to say seriously, but you get my point.
Yeah,
it's down on the list.
Yeah,
of things that he's going to do.
I mean, I think that like right now, since I do believe 1957, we're in first place for natural gas exporting.
Right.
So, and that's since 1957. Why is that?
Yeah.
Everybody needs to ask themselves these questions and go and do the research yourself. It's all out there. All the information is available to you.
Right.
He's definitely done some good things. There's no doubt about that. That can't be argued. He doesn't have a presidential demeanor to him.
That's the only thing.
He's not going to use these fancy words.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, he's more of he's an entertainer. He's he had a show, the Apprentice and things like that, and he likes attention. He's up there, he's clapping, he's getting the crowds riled up. So it's more when he's not going to come off as this well-spoken, well-rounded. For the most part, although he's a very successful businessman and certainly knows how to speak and what words to use, but
he knows how to get deals done.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, for as long as I can remember, we've been asking for a businessman for president instead of the politicians. And I mean, if you want a businessman, you're going to get somebody that acts different than your everyday politician. You're going to get somebody that's a wheeler and dealer, somebody that acts in that kind of manner.
The biggest thing that I think he does is because he's an entertainer, he likes to spike the football. If you notice, like, he'll thumb you in the eye after he wins.
A little Iggy Pop.
Yeah. He'll thumb you in the eye. He'll, it's just what he does. Right. I don't know why. Sometimes I wish he wouldn't. That'd be kind of, it would probably help maybe some of the issues that go on around.
I think it would help with the younger people. They seem to be a little bit more sensitive.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, let's face the facts. I mean, we haven't been able to get deals done with making peace in the Middle East for almost a quarter of a century. He's gotten, he's nominated for 2 Nobel Peace Prizes, for God's sakes.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got the historic, I guess we just
he knows what he's dealing with, and he obviously knows how to get a deal done.
Well, we got Israel, Bahrain, and the UAE.
Kosovo, Serbia,
and they're formally recognizing Israel for the first time. I think that
was a huge thing, moving the embassy to Jerusalem, because nobody else had the balls to do it.
Yeah,
they all said they would,
and they all said they would. Robin, that's right.
Alex, I'll take geography for 1,000. Hey, just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
We got some social media. We got quite a few followers tonight. Let me just scroll here through a second. And again, do you want to give out the call-in number?
It's 804. What am I saying? 716-804-1229 is the number here.
All right, so we definitely have some new people in here. We have Joe Herman. Thanks for chiming in. We have Paul Cambria.
Oh.
Or Paula. Paula Cambria. Okay, Paula. Yep. And Christine Ruggiero talking about green jobs.
Okay.
Green energy is very capable of creating jobs.
All right.
Scott Taggart, him and another talking about COVID and how it's real and have they been affected. Kathleen, again, your friend, Marshall, thanks for tuning in. And let's see, genocide in Yemen continues. And Talan, T-A-L-A-N, Pomeroy.
Yep.
All right, so we got a lot of people in talking about COVID. I know we've kind of touched on that earlier. Anyone want to call in regarding Trump or politics? We have a special guest tonight, Lisa, and she's very knowledgeable and passionate for her her president.
Here's a question I got to put out there to Lisa and to you, Chris and Robin, if you want to chime in, and whoever else. Ohio Barb's here. Peter, if you got anything to say. Everyone just say something. Don't you see? All right. Anyways, what about the Woodward audio about the coronavirus, where Trump is heard saying some things, and it's about not wanting to cause hysteria and how I think there's more. I just wrote down a few things about how transmittable it was. Do you think that saying that he didn't want to cause hysteria is kind of the right thing to say? I don't know. Like, you certainly don't want to have panic.
You don't want to have panic.
But you probably want to...
He could have worded it differently.
Yeah. I agree.
He could have worded it differently.
I think in principle...
Listen, nobody's perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you do the pros and cons list, his list is way, way longer in the very short time in politics that he's been in, as opposed to 47 years of Biden.
Yeah, well, Biden's...
I mean, what has he done? What, 94?
Here,
crime bill?
I'm different.
Disaster.
Yeah. Well, that's part of that is why we are where we are today, right? I mean, stop and frisk and all that stuff. What else? He built all those prisons, and they had to be funded, and it's just a mess.
This guy, he's changed his narrative. I couldn't tell you how many times. Let's see, in 96, he was against gay marriage. Now 2012, he's all about it because they needed to get back in. So they had to switch their story again and again and again and again.
Well, here's what's funny about me. There's never Trumpers. You know those people, the Lincoln Project, those Republicans that don't like them, and I couldn't believe the Democrats rolled out a Kasich. I couldn't believe it. But anyways, they're not going to win with Republicans. They're never going to win this election with Republicans. But that I'm probably one of the few people that left the Democratic Party because I can't stand Biden. Like, he was the problem for me. When I saw that they were pushing him to be the candidate, that was it.
Disappointing.
I could no. It's just too much. That is everything that I'm against all around. I don't like establishment at all.
He kind of reminds me of a certain person that you might be related
to. That's funny. That's funny you say that. That's really funny because I had someone else say that the other day. And that's really funny you say. Well, that's because it's that 80s, 90s type of cadence of talking, too. Mm-hmm. Hillary Clinton had it. It reminds me, if you ever watched the movie Black Sheep with Farley.
Chris Farley. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the governor on Black Sheep talks that way, and that's exactly how he does. And now he's not even talking. Yeah. I mean, now it's almost...
Well, he's totally incompetent.
It's making me feel... I don't want to feel bad, but he kind of... I don't know.
It's sad they're using him.
I don't know.
Come on, if anybody can't see what they're doing.
What I couldn't understand is, though, there was other middle-of-the-road Democrats that they could have picked. There really was. I mean, any one of them. But, you know. Yeah.
I like that. I just caught that sound effect.
Yeah,
sheep.
Sean Levick is watching us and the city council meeting, so maybe we'll have an update from city council tonight.
Yeah. By the way, I turned my ringer off, just to let you know.
Oh, thank you. You know what?
The show's over, and she tells us. Thank you. It must have been the second glass of wine.
Vote out all incumbents. That's my advice to everyone.
I think that honestly, just scrap it all and start anew.
In the city, I'm voting out all incumbents.
Absolutely,
I don't care who they are.
I'm with you.
John, can you give
I can't even vote in the city anymore because I live in Lewiston now. But I do encourage all of my friends that
still
live in the city.
According to Trump, you can vote twice. So. Hey, give out the number again, John. We have a caller wants to call in.
Oh, Scott. It's 804-1229. 804-1229. And remember, when you call, when I pick up, give me don't speak until I tell you you're on the air.
And Michael DeFrancisco says, "Awesome job, Lisa."
I love you, Mike.
And thank you so much, Lisa, again for coming for all the snacks. And you brought a lot
snacks. Those aren't snacks.
Yeah, that's a meal.
That's super. I mean, that's unbelievable.
She brought a lot of
everything.
She's brought a lot of familia with her.
You have no idea.
So awesome.
But Italians never show up with empty hands.
Yeah. Right.
I was invited here, for God's sake.
I have to say, as far as Joe Biden goes, I think at least for me, what really was the red line where I don't even see him belonging in the Democratic Party anymore, or the Democratic Party is so far away from what I expected it to be. When he said he would veto Medicare for all if it came across his desk, I just wondered, like, are we still Democrats? Or
because he has no idea that the party has been hijacked.
Yeah.
And they're just dragging him along. And he's too afraid to open his mouth because this is his last shot. What is he, 80? He's got 1 foot in the grave, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
I just don't know. This is something I've talked to with some people. There's two things, and I want to get your opinion on this, Lisa. First, oh, we got to, hold on a minute. Hold on, let me answer this, and then I'll finish my thought. Hey, you know what? Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead. Caller. Hello. Caller, you're on the air.
How you doing, guys?
Good. How are you? Who is this?
Good. This is Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Taggart.
Hi,
hey,
Scott.
there he
How you doing, guys?
Good. Nice to hear from you.
Hey, what's happening, Lisa? Okay, this is what drives me probably the craziest about Trump supporters. Now, obviously, I'm not a fan by what I just said. Is I want any of them, okay, that don't own stocks, and I don't want to hear about the 401k because I hear that's ridiculous to me. Tell me what he has done for you. Personally, these people that are pushing and on Facebook and screaming and posting all these fake things they know are completely fake. I mean, you got Trump. When have you ever seen a politician lie as much as this guy has? When have you seen a politician get down and dirty as bad as this guy has with some of the things that he's done? Which is, it's politics. It is what it is. But I want Trump supporters, tell me what he has done to make your specific life better.
How much time do you have, Scott?
Because everybody was going so crazy about the border and all the border. You haven't heard a word about it. That's because they don't even want us over there anymore. But what is? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get this over infatuation with Donald Trump, who we know he cares nothing about anybody but himself. I mean, if you can't figure that out, then I got some land on a swamp I want to sell you because you're delusional. I mean, look at all the norms in politics. Not saying all of it was great, but it's all being destroyed.
Are we doing a
question? And when someone else comes in that has bigger brain than Trump, and they come in, and let's say it's a Democrat that does it, because who knows who's going to do it. But I cannot wait to hear people cry when they see that someone that actually has a brain, what they can do because of all the precedents this man is setting.
All right.
Because it's going to happen.
All right, Lisa, go ahead.
So how much time do you have? And I kind of got lost between your questions and your statements and a little bit. So which one do you want to know?
What has he done to make your life better?
What has he done to make my life better? Because
your life.
This is specifically the wrong question to ask, because it really is about what's making the country better in a whole, and that unites the United States of America.
Okay. What has he done to make the United States better?
First of all, he's charged China tariffs, which they've been ripping us off for God only knows how long, because Sleepy Joe and his son have been over there collecting money and putting it in their own pockets.
Let's pause on that one.
Because now, I gave you your time to talk. Now you give me mine.
All right.
Okay. So I mean,
I didn't know I was in a battle with you. If I would have known that, I would have. Harder, Lisa. I'm just kidding. You know that.
You'd have known better, Scotty.
No, go on.
Honestly, he's done more for the country as a whole. Okay. Jobs created all cultures are at an all-time low unemployment prior to COVID. I don't want to hear anything after the pandemic. Okay, because we're in a different situation than we've ever had to be in our lifetime, Scott. Right? Okay, but prior to that, I mean, literally, there was 3.9 million people taken off of food stamps. Okay, I mean, people are going back to work. He's bringing jobs back to this country. That makes the wheel. Once the wheel gets oiled, it's not squeaky anymore. So we all benefit from it. Everybody benefits. I don't just think about myself. What's that?
You don't think that the Obama presidency, halfway through towards the end, that wave of
there was a little spike. There was a little spike, but the recovery from the housing market crash was the slowest. It was a complete
gradual upturn.
It was the slowest recovery. It was the slowest recovery from anything that's ever happened in our country. So
Scott, Scott, it's John.
Yes,
hey,
yeah, Joe. I'm John. Yeah, go ahead.
Scott, what are you doing?
Yes.
You should come in.
I know.
Because I need a.
John, you told me. Hey, John, you told me 4 weeks ago. I'm still waiting on the invitation.
Right.
You were supposed to send me.
I'm inviting you now. Can you come in next week? Because I need somebody who's a Biden supporter. Not even a Biden supporter. Just somebody who's
needs a Democrat.
Wait a minute. I'm an independent, dude.
That's fine. So am I. But
I'm an independent.
Yeah, that's
okay. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, John, but let me ask you this.
I'm voting for normalcy. Instead of the chaos. Right. I mean, I'm thoroughly exhausted. I can hardly watch the news anymore. It's literally tiring at this point.
So you rather give up? You rather give up capitalism? The only country in the whole world that is capitalist. You rather give that up than deal with the chaos? Because I'd rather deal with the chaos than give away my capitalism.
Do you guys literally think that Biden's going to become president and we're going to?
Hold on a minute. Oh. No, I might have lost him.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I think I did. Let me see.
Everybody's going to be attacked and all this stuff that I keep hearing. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so have you listened to anything Kamala Harris said? Because I will tell you this right now: Biden will not be our president. They will deem him incompetent within 30 days of that, and she will be our president. Okay, so if you listen to anything, and you guess what? And I will let you see. I will let you look down. Look over in California and see the shit show she made out of that joint. It's disgusting.
Well.
Listen, I like my lies served to me honestly.
Well,
I have to ask you another question.
All right, then we got to go.
How come no one has a problem with Trump having to show his taxes? Why is that all of a sudden?
Why did anybody have a problem with Obama not showing his birth certificate?
He did show his birth certificate. You know, he did, and he actually made a joke at Donald Trump's expense, which really got Donald mad because he did release his birth certificate.
Scott, you are an independent like me. So we need to get, if I get after the show, let me find you on Facebook and let's schedule you to come in, because what I need, I've had everyone, I know you're an independent, so that'll be good. We'll call you an independent. I've had a libertarian, I've had a green, I've had a Republican, I've had a Trump. I think I need you to come in, if you will.
I do have to admit that, John, I got to admit something.
Yeah.
I've only been an independent for about 6 months because I could not stand being a Republican anymore. with what's going on.
Okay.
I just couldn't. I've been a Republican since I was 16.
Independent.
Since I was 18. Since I was 16 because I helped work on campaigns when I was a kid.
Scott,
I was in politics for entire life.
Yeah, and
I've seen the mudslinging. I've seen horrible things that people do on a small scale level in local politics to each other.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And I just can't. It just drives me crazy. But yes, John, I absolutely will. I'll definitely come in. I just got to figure out the day and make sure it works
All right. I will get a hold of you tonight. Thanks, Scott. Okay. Thanks for calling me.
Thanks for calling in.
I'll see you, kid.
Bye, sweetheart.
Hold on a minute. I think we got another call.
See you, Chris.
Let's
see you, Scott.
Let's see if I got another call here. I think I do. Caller, you're on the air. Hello, you there?
Good evening.
All right. Who is this?
Yes, good evening, John.
Yes.
My name is Kevin. My name is Kevin from Pendleton.
Oh, yes.
And good evening to your charming guest, Lisa.
Good evening.
And also to Chris.
Hello, Kevin.
And to your lovely bride I'm hearing in the background, Robin.
Kevin, I did see your message. Sorry I didn't get, I was trying to get in between everything else, but I did acknowledge you up there, so go ahead.
Yeah. Well, just want to, unfortunately, the gentleman you had on your call earlier there, sir, I've seen here a great example of where we've dumbed down the educational system so much so that we have the type of citizens today out here, in the sense that regardless of whether it's Donald Trump sitting in the White House, Hillary Clinton, or whomever, the individuals who impact your lives as much as possible are the individuals, which I have to commend John and Chris and Robin for what you're doing right now.
Thank you.
Yes.
The individuals who impact your lives more than any other president, whether it's Democrat, Republican, Martian, whomever, your county, your state, and your judicial, we'll not call it appointments, but that's what they are. I'll call it anointments.
Yeah.
And until we wake up and realize this, nothing is going to change. And also, whether you are marching for guns, abortion rights, or whatever, the wall.
Right.
Let me tell you something. Until we repair, enhance, and modernize our electoral system that is geared towards accountability and integrity, then we can forget about it, guys. And I'm very much involved in trying to mobilize the not only the leaderships right here in New York State, but the leadership of the minor parties and even independent thinking Democrats, Republicans, and independents to work towards doing this.
Yeah.
And until we fix this, nothing we do will make sense.
I agree with them.
I agree too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin. Thanks for your call,
We'd love
Kevin.
to meet you sometime.
Yep. Thanks for your call.
We have more in common than we do than we do differently. And if we all come together for the common good of, as Lisa mentioned, what's good for America should be good for all of us. It'll be a better place.
Yes.
I got a question to ask Lisa. I'm a sports fan. I love watching the NFL. I love the NHL. I love it all. I watch it all. Why boycott it? It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, it just absolutely it drives me nuts because I don't know why.
Okay.
Go ahead, Lisa.
All right. I have an answer for this because I'm a huge sports fan.
Right.
Grew up with 3 older brothers. Played sports my whole life. Huge NFL fan. My father was a big Cleveland Browns fan, would take trips when he was still alive back and forth to Cleveland, even after the Bills started back in 61.
You must know the Abels.
Oh, yeah, Dick Abel. The only Abel Dick in the phone book.
There's Rob and Sean. They're big Browns fans from the area, Yeah.
I knew their dad really well.
Oh, awesome.
He used to come to John's Flaming Hearth downtown when I was a student. I used to bartend down there. He was great, and that was his line. I'm the only Abel Dick in the phone book. Don't think I came up with that quip.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I know, big Browns fans forever. They still are,
They, my father was here before the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
So, that's why Cleveland Browns. But
over on 81st, 82nd Street over there, that's where they were from. Yep.
My 17-year-old daughter was basically harassing me the other day to come in to watch, which we normally watch football as a family every Sunday. Mom's cooking. We're either ordering pizza or wings.
Got the Sunday paper.
Sauce. We got some sauce on the stove, something. Exactly. So that's our normal Sunday, but this year it wasn't because Mom didn't want to watch. The reason I did not want to watch, and it just breaks my heart. I agree. Black lives do matter, but I believe this organization is really a domestic terrorist group that have a lot of people fooled. I had a man say to me the other day on Facebook, Black Lives is just a phrase. We're not a group. And I said, well, I kind of been following it since back in 2016. And when I checked out their website, it literally looked like they took verbatim, page by page from a communistic pamphlet.
Wow.
Okay. They have now since cleaned up their website. Okay. I just don't believe in domestic terrorists at all, or foreign terrorists for that matter. Obviously, that's what our president is here to protect us from. Domestic and foreign terrorists, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I just don't believe in the BLM. I do believe in Black Lives Matter. Everybody matters, and everybody should have their equal opportunity in this country. This is America.
We're all human beings.
We're all human beings.
And the thing is, I think with BLM, and I have not done a whole lot of research from the past on them, it does seem that there is a lot of people out there doing it positively, using their voice, using their signs.
Right.
And I would hope that we all support that. And that's kind of one of our show. We allow the freedom of expression, the freedom of speech, and we want different people from all different areas of politics, all different areas of the city. Yeah,
made up of.
Absolutely. But when you start burning things, when you start looting, when you start... And those people are giving the people that are trying to do it the right way and peacefully.
Yes.
I believe they're given a horrible name.
They're giving them a horrible name. In my own thought process, I do believe they are backed by some people that are against other parties in our unions.
Right.
It's hard to say, but it just kind of has flown that way since 2016 when they came on the scene.
Right. No, I know. I understand. Yeah, definitely.
I actually even told the gentleman the other day, I said, listen, I'm wonderful with marketing. I would more than gladly help you with a different phrase that might help you be able to, get a segue without people being so defensive, because people are defensive from the BLM because they're burning and looting in people's faces and, just
as I like to say, some people are looking, and I'm not just saying BLM, but a lot of people these days, exactly where you're going, they want to be wrong. They're looking to be wrong. They want to make something out of nothing. They want to make it, race. Everything's not race. How about right versus wrong?
Yeah.
Not black versus white, right versus wrong. What happened to rules and laws? And there's people riding four-wheelers down the middle of the street nowadays.
You got to remember, though.
It's lawlessness.
It's lawlessness.
Maybe I'm crazy.
And that's not political. That's just craziness.
Yes.
I am crazy. But here's my thought. And I said this one time, and I don't know. Everyone has a different American experience. Like, I know me, being white, Italian, whatever, I don't know. I guess I don't. I wouldn't know what it's like to be Asian. I don't know what it's like to be black. I don't know what it's like to be anything other than what I am. So I'm sure I didn't. I don't know I don't know. But I can see, I've had friends, I've heard. I've heard a lot of things, but I've never had to
none of us have had to deal with it.
That's where I have a hard time, but I understand what you're saying, Lisa, about BLM. You got Antifa, you got all kinds of stuff happening that,
it's not just a phrase.
When we had a couple protests here, especially the first one. The second one, which I was happy they did, it was very. I felt bad. I felt bad because they co-opted it, the city. But whatever. The first one, which was really kind of just happened, that was good.
Yes.
I mean, there was people crying out there. There was people yelling, and like you're supposed to. I mean, there was no damage, but they were upset for a reason,
of course.
And then it turned into something else. They were happy, and everyone. I don't know why that happened, but everyone got happy, and it was good. And there was none of them there. There was no Antifa there. There was nothing there to cause the problem. So you're right, Chris and Lisa. I mean, I don't want to ever say, we all think black lives have to matter as much as mine.
Everybody's life should matter. Right. But I feel, I understand that they feel that they have been, not, in a hole, but I mean, with the police, I just don't understand how you feel that it's okay to pull a knife on a police officer and not expect consequences.
Yeah.
As far as I was always taught growing up by my father, who was a first generation American. He was actually born here young, and my grandparents didn't speak English. It wasn't okay to
stay out of the bear trap, and you won't get caught.
Yeah,
basically.
You're in control of your own destiny. And it's like if you don't make bad decisions, bad things won't happen.
Hey, my dad used to say this one. But John will like this. If you fuck with the bull, you get the horns. Right?
The horns, honey. The horns.
I mean, and that goes for anybody. If you're looking for trouble, you're filling your body full of PCP all this other stuff. There's going to be consequences.
But I think you're missing. I think you missed the point a little bit, though.
Okay.
The consequences if I fill my body with PCP, okay, or whatever. Mm-hmm. The African American community is telling you that doesn't have to happen for them to be harassed. Okay. That doesn't have to happen for them to be pulled over. That doesn't have to happen for them to be stopped and frisked. It doesn't have to happen. That's I think the bitch, I guess, of the thing.
Well, and we know that stop and frisk was racially biased. It affected brown and black people way more.
And didn't Biden come up with that idea?
I was just going to say, courtesy of Biden
and the old mayor of New York City, Giuliani, right?
Giuliani used it, but Biden supplied it.
So, and they've admitted now that was racially biased policy, and it's been proven. And trust me, people of different skin color do get treated differently. I've seen it in restaurants, and I've seen it in my own life.
I absolutely agree with that.
And we do need, one of my classmates from class of 91, LaSalle, Christine Stensky, chimed in, and she said, we need more respect and integrity.
Absolutely.
And John, we're getting close to the end here.
I got another question. But I want to do. We can go over just a minute or two.
Okay, just wanted to give you a time check.
I wish we had more time. Lisa, I want to ask
you. I'll come back.
Yeah, for sure. Bring in dessert next time.
I will.
Cannoli.
I'll bring some cannoli.
Oh yeah, that's
some cucciadatis.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Last one, and then we'll have to go.
Sounds good. It's been great.
What's aggravating me right now? And I'm on a kick because of a lot of things are going on. My wife had her own problem growing up, and she was abused by her neighbor, a good friend who works here with us, a colleague also. I can't believe Netflix.
Dear Lord.
And this show Cuties. I just don't know. I hope it's got to be. They got to do something.
I never saw it, but I seen the reaction on Facebook. And didn't they? Isn't there state police investigating or something now?
I mean, it is softcore child porn.
I don't want to see anything about it. Get rid of it.
It's so disturbing. Me and Robin saw not the show, but we happened to see a trailer. My God, man. And then you see out in California, we talked about this when Hugh was on. I can't remember if it was SB 158 or 154 with the law about, it's almost like pedophilia. I mean, it is. It's saying you can be 10 years, as long as you're a homosexual, I guess.
That's out in California.
Out in California, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Newsom. Oh, yeah. Within 10 years. So if a 20-year-old sleeps with a 10-year-old, it's okay. You don't have to, like
24 and 14 is...
It's okay.
No, I think and you will never be...
What is that, SB 145?
Something like that.
The law is?
And you won't be registered.
You can't be registered as a sex offender.
You don't have to be registered as a sex offender.
It's just... and that's what it's just going wild.
It's disgusting.
And I don't think we can ever accept the norm, like making this stuff normal.
That is not normal.
That is not normal.
No.
That is not normal, nor should that ever be accepted as normal. Children's minds do not develop. I know mine didn't develop until probably, God only knows, maybe 25.
The scariest part
minus 12.
Yeah. The scariest part is our 17-year-old son brought to our attention this new show. He was so appalled by the trailer
showed us,
that he came downstairs and said, "You've got to see this show that they have out." And at first, we didn't even believe it was a real thing. We said, "Come on, they've got to be." And
maybe they're actors, but no, there they are.
Yeah,
11-year-old kids.
Disturbing.
And you can't.
I'm talking crotch shots. I mean, it's so disgustingly disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't let this be normal. And I feel like I'm getting, and I don't mean to be like a conspiracy person, but there's a part of me that's starting to think that they're trying to normalize this stuff on us, and I don't know.
They've been trying to normalize it. I mean, John, think about it. When we were kids, when we watched Happy Days, I always said to my parents, because my parents slept in a queen-size bed together.
Right.
But when we were watching TV back when we were kids, all the adult parents were in separate beds. They were in twin beds on television.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's
okay.
right.
So it is just inched its ugly head every year by year by year.
Yeah, we can't allow with this.
We got to be the ones to stop it.
Absolutely,
this is too far.
Well, it doesn't help when half of Hollywood and half of the politicians are a part of it.
Yeah.
Last question, and then we got to wrap it up. Do you think anyone is going to accept this election? Whoever wins or loses, whoever loses, I don't feel like is going to accept it.
I don't think that either one of them are going to concede, and I think it's going to come up to a judge's decision.
Yeah.
I see Niagara County said the process they go through. They were on, I think, the Vincentello show. But they
this
said
guy gets a lot of time on our show.
14 days to count after they receive them. So, I mean, we might not know the results for 2 weeks.
Yeah, well,
who knows?
It's really good to ask government advice from Vincentello too. I would do that. I might as well be asking from Blagojevich or get like.
I know you love them. That's why I always bring it up.
But you got to figure. I mean, why not go get go to Bernie Madoff for your retirement? Do whatever you want to do. But these knuckleheads are watching this guy. All right, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
Lisa,
all right.
Thank you.
You're
the
so
best
much
guest.
for having me.
Yeah, the food's unbelievable, and thank you for coming, and you'll come again.
I absolutely.
She's the only Dick Dick Abel in the
that
phone
was
book.
Dick Abel. That's what he used to say. I'm the only able Dick in the phone book.
Robin, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, Lisa. Thank you for coming. You've been great. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
Lisa, we want you to be the first Giwawa Media guest to come twice.
I will absolutely.
No pun intended. I love you all. It's been a great show. Thanks, everyone. Peace. John, give out your numbers.
Yeah.
And I would just like to give out, I don't know the number,
ahead.
but maybe you could look it up. The National Suicide Number helpline, which is available 24 hours, 7 days a week. There's also a chat function. I believe you can do it through online, through, tele talk, and it's available in English and Spanish. So if you need help, there's help for you. And thanks again, everyone. Peace.
All right. Well, what I got here is if you've ever been sexually abused, assaulted, you're a survivor. There's a couple numbers. The YWCA is great. They have a 24-hour number. It's 716-433-6716. Then there's another number right here in Niagara Falls. It's 716-278-9662. They have counselors. They have advocates. They'll talk to you at home. You don't even have to get off your couch.
They're amazing.
They're unbelievable, and they're great. And that's all I can say about them. Then there is RAINN, RAINN. It's a national number for survivors. Or if you're currently being abused, it's 1-800-656-4673. They're there 24 hours. It's all confidential. If you're a survivor, you're currently being abused, you got to figure something out. Call them. They're there to listen to you. And the last number is 1-800-662-HELP, 1-800-662-4357. This is all mental health, suicide, depression, and all of that. There's always someone to listen to you, everywhere. So please call if you feel like you're alone, and you're not alone, and you'll be able to get some help through their counseling too. So that's episode 11. We had Lisa Dorato here. We're going to try to find a Democrat, and I thank you, everybody. Take it easy. See you next week.
Oh, my ears are burning.